that process of finding yourself, and I feel like we're all always finding ourselves. It's evolution. It's a process of evolution. We're always learning new things and growth, and in that process of growth and evolution and changing, that you begin to see the world with new eyes, and it forces you then to reflect on past choices. And I know that this is a sensitive topic for you, but obviously a few years back there was a lot of controversy around the decision that you made to play Nina Simone. And at the time there were a lot of questions around blackface and darkening skin and prosthetics, and I wonder, what is your relationship with that choice now? How has the process of evolution for you and in loving yourself changed not only the roles that you're taking today, but how it makes you reflect on that decision?
I should have never played Nina. I should have never played Nina. I should have done everything in my power with the leverage that I had 10 years ago, which was a different leverage, but it was leverage nonetheless. I should have tried everything in my power to cast a black woman to play an exceptionally perfect black woman. It's growing. It's painful. I thought back then that I had the permission because I was a black woman, and I am. But it was Nina Simone, and Nina had a life, and she had a journey that should have been, and it should be honored to the most specific detail, because she was a specifically detailed individual about her voice and her opinions and her views and her music and her art, and she was so honest, so she deserved better. But that said, so I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, because I love her music. We're using it in car commercials, or I'm taking her image and her story, and I think that I'm okay to tell it. We've been appropriating ourselves with someone like Nina Simone for a very long time, and I just want her story to be told, and I want it to be right because she deserves it. And
hey, what's up? This is Nicole Reloaded, and we loaded up, and we loaded up, and we locked and loaded with another video. We're discussing Zoe Saldana's portrayal of Nina Simone in the 2016 biopic, Nina, which was notoriously campaigned against by Simone's fans and family members. It was one of the first times where the social media age and issue regarding black portrayals in Hollywood collided, providing important discussions around of dark-skinned black women in media and how their legacies are often whitewashed and downplayed. In the movie, Zoe wore blackface, a wig that reflected a kinkier hair texture, and wore prosthetics, fake teeth, in order to change her appearance to look more like Simone.
Social justice champion and global inspiration.
I was a record company that stole my albums and didn't pay me, and they came to Switzerland, and I said, where's my money? They said, we're not going to give you any money. I said, oh, yes, you are. And I got a gun. It was a gun. It wasn't a knife. And I followed him to a restaurant, and I tried to kill him. I missed him, and I went back to America.
You actually pulled the trigger?
Oh, no, excuse me. Yes, I did.
And felt better for it.
Oh, yes. Sorry I didn't get him.
that said, she's one of our giants. Somebody else should step up. Somebody else should tell her story, because she's one of those people that I'm besotted that Nina Simone, her story hasn't been like a global fucking impact. when we're taking her music.
As relates to colorism, and all tied around Zoe Saldana playing Nina Simone in an upcoming movie. You have Nina Simone's daughter who is defending Zoe Saldana, but also blasting the folks who make the casting decisions. You also have the Nina Simone estate who is ripping her, literally saying, don't even mention Nina Simone out of your mouth, Zoe Saldana. It is stunning to have all this going back and forth. I'm going to come back with my panel also. We have, of course, Karen Mayo, of course, the editor-in-chief of Essence Magazine, and we have Dr. Jeffrey Ann Wilder, the author of the book Color Stories, Black Women and Colorism in the 21st Century. Dr. Wilder, I got to start with you here, because this is an amazing...
out there. I don't necessarily think that Zoe Saldana is believable in her role as Nina Simone for a large number of reasons. I saw the trailer and it just, was not believable. There's something about, I guess, just the way she looks and appears in the film that just is something off about it. And I think that, a lot of folks are talking about this was really a missed opportunity to really highlight talent of a lot of darker skinned actresses who also have, musical talent. And I think we missed the mark here. And of course, the backlash really is reflective of colorism, because what does it say about our society when we really don't value enough, or looking at dark skin, we have to cast someone who is a brown skin or a lighter skinned woman in this role, when clearly it should have gone, in my opinion, to someone who is a more darker complected actress, or could have looked more like Nina Simone.
But here's the issue, Kiana, and I want to bring you in on this here. First of all, there were reports that Mary J. Blige was supposed to play the role, but she had to drop out because of other commitments. But there's also
That would have been great.
issue here, Kiana, that if you can speak to, and that is, when you're making decisions about how to finance films, a huge part of that is who's attached to it. And so it's one of those deals where, look, very few black women have actually had leading roles in films. Paula Patton was a lead in a film. Zoe Saldana was a lead in Columbiana. And so what a lot of people are saying, well, some people say we should have cast an unknown. That's not as simple as people are making it out to be when we're talking about millions of dollars in films. Go ahead.
Yes, so there are multiple realities. What you just spoke to is absolutely the truth. That is the Hollywood standard. Typically speaking, if you want to really get a film to theaters, you need to have a very marquee name attached to it. That said, that doesn't change the reality of African Americans, black people in general, who are looking for authentic representation. And I think the sensitivity here, I didn't hear the earlier speaker, but the sensitivity here is particular to Nina Simone, who herself so embodied racial pride, who herself so did not fit the Hollywood package. Image that we all have grown so accustomed to that we can spit off the names Paula Patton, and we can spit off the names Zoe Saldana with ease, but we cannot find their darker skinned peers.
See, and my problem with that is this. If, the movie was done, done really, really well, this could have created a star, okay? This could have created a star. Instead of the producers out there searching for a star, this movie could have jump-started somebody's career.
So the panel here, is that Zoe Saldana's fault?
It's not Zoe Saldana's fault, and I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier, is that we cannot name, it still goes back to colorism because of casting, and we need to have someone attached to this film who can show up on the red carpet and do all these things, and it's also because she has been allowed those, a part of her stardom is just the reality of that is the color of her skin. The fact that she can now, throughout her career, deny Afro-Latina, being an Afro-Latina, or not really lay ownership to that, but then own it when she goes for a role to play a black woman. I think this is a greater conversation of the erasure of dark-skinned black women.
Okay, but I gotta raise this here because I've read stories where she's talked about being Afro-Latina, but here's what I've also gotten. I've gotten people who have criticized her because, she's only had white men in movies. Well, when she was in Drumline and Nick Cannon is black, she was in Takers and had Michael Ealy was a boyfriend. But it's very interesting how, again, when you start hearing the criticism, so she's being attacked because of who she's starring against, as opposed to, wait a minute, this is about just her in this role. Other stuff is coming into play.
No, you're making the issue simplistic, and it's not. My issue isn't with Zoe. My issue is with the fact that Nina Simone embodied her blackness, she wasn't a traditional beauty. So this isn't about color. This is about a woman whose art was informed by the struggle she had as a black woman.
But actually, it is about color, though.
No, it is.
It is about color.
No, it is.
Nina Simone grew up as a poor, dark-skinned black woman in the South. That totally influences her art.
She grew up as an unattractive black woman who didn't perm her hair. It is about a much greater issue than just color. And what I'm saying is, it's not that Zoe couldn't play the role of a darker-skinned woman, but not this one. Because this woman, you don't get the connection between Nina Simone and blackness.
Hold on a second, Dr. Wilder here. Because Dr. Wilder, here's the deal. I get all of that, but here's the piece. This movie was already difficult trying to get made. You have the possibility that would never...
And we're using it in car commercials, or I'm taking her image and her story, and I think that I'm okay to tell it. We've been appropriating ourselves with someone like Nina Simone for a very long time, and I just want her story to be told, and I want it to be right because she deserves it. And our America deserves it because the Americans that inhabit today's America deserve her story to be told. And I know better today, and I'm never going to do that again. Never. It's okay. I'm learning.
And this next song, I learned when I first went to Liberia, West Africa, in 1974. We stayed there 5 years and was very happy. This dress is made in Liberia, West Africa. And the name of the tune, it is the story of my sojourn there. And the name of the tune is Liberian Calypso, a Nina. I was glad, I thought at last I wouldn't be had, so I went to a discotheque one night and danced myself right out of sight. In 1974, that's the year I went straight home because I had so much to fear. I had dreamed for oh so long that one day I'd be going home. Oh, I got to go. Oh, the man's at the door. Run as fast as you can. God is holding our hand. I was glad, I thought at last I wouldn't be had, so I went to a discotheque one night and danced myself right out of sight. What I mean is this, I went with a friend, we sat through the night, right through the end. The music was American and oh so good that I jumped up just where I stood. Oh, I got to go, Juanita, oh the man's at the door. Juanita, you run as fast as you can, God is holding me. Moving all around, I was so happy to be in town. As I slowly began to strip, everybody thought I was so hip. I danced all over the place, you know, all over the ceiling, all over the floor, up in the balcony, all around. It felt so good just being in town. Oh, I got to go. Oh, the man's at the door. Run as fast as you can. God is holding me. Complete, you know, friends were happy. They said, go, go, dance for hours, hours on end. They said, dear Lord, you are my friend. You brought me home to Liberia, and all of the places are inferior. You brought me out to Liberia, and all of the places are inferior. Oh, I got to go. Oh, the man's at the door. Run as fast as you can. God is holding me. At the door. Run as fast as you can. God is holding me.
Nina Simone, legendary musician, social justice champion, and global inspiration. But the High Priestess of Soul had humble beginnings, and the place where it all began is threatened. Hi, I'm Brent Leggs with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. We work to save historic places, and right now we are working to save Nina Simone's childhood home in Tryon, North Carolina. This 3-room house might not seem like much, but it's here that Nina fell in love with music and learned to play the piano. It's here that she first experienced racial discrimination that would shape her life and commitment to racial equality. And it's here that she began to find her voice in art and in activism. Here, in this modest home, is where it all started. Today, with your help, we can make sure that her unique voice continues to inspire and motivate people through her childhood home. The house is currently vacant, in disrepair, and lacking any interpretation or preservation protections. Work is underway to restore and protect it, but we need your help to cross the finish line. When you donate to the National Trust campaign, you'll help fund critical restoration work in Nina Simone's childhood home. And depending on your donation, you can get exclusive Nina Simone-inspired perks, including t-shirts, enamel pins, prints, and postcards that will let you show the world your love for her music and for her message. Help save the place where Nina Simone began and become a part of her remarkable legacy.